Welcome back to Tech Tuesdays, the podcast that plugs you directly into the world of technology. My name is Daniel Philippe.
And I'm Dunstan Powell. Today we'll be joined by Corinna Elliot, who's one of the founders of BetaDen and basically helped put this whole thing together.
We'll also unpack the latest happenings in the world of AI.
And as always, we'll be playing a few AI games along the way, so make sure to join in.
So grab your cuppa and get comfortable.
This is Tech Tuesdays.
So, Dunstan, what has happened in the world of AI? You're very much clued on this. I'm not so much. Let's hear it.
When people say I'm clued in, it's basically what pops up in my Instagram and what kind of just grabs my interest. There are a few things out there that has been like, oh, wow. And there's a few things I'll be like, oh no. So I'll try and get through a few of these pointers. So one of the things that came into my eyeline was the whole how much energy is AI using? So when you're prompting through ChatGPT or any of these other constructs, what kind of power is being utilized? I had a good conversation with Dan Cook from WebHQ. As we know, Dan was on the Incubate program, about his Mac absolutely eating energy while he was on the road. He has his own model that runs off a 32 gig Mac or something like that. And he was on the road trying to use his AI model, and he absolutely blew through his battery. Oh, no. So it takes up a lot. But anyway, to put it into context, the human brain uses about 12 watts to think, while AI will use about 2.7 billion watts to do the same exact job. So think of it like this. If you need to kind of do a math sum of 2 plus 2, just do 2 plus 2. Don't ask ChatGPT to do 2 plus 2. You do the 2 plus 2. Everyone knows 2 plus 2. If you don't know 2 plus 2, maybe you need to go back to school.
Or use a calculator.
Yeah, use the calculator. Don't use ChatGPT to kind of estimate what 2 plus 2 is. But if there's more complex thinkings, then yes, of course, use it, utilize it if you need it more to kind of do what the day-to-day is, the mundane things that you just don't want to use the 12 watts of brain power you do have. Then yeah, go ahead, use ChatGPT. It's still less than kind of like running a microwave for an hour or so, or whatever it is. So yeah, that was quite an interesting fact to see the comparison between your brain and what a ChatGPT prompt is.
Yeah, the energy use of any AI model really has been a big conversation point, but I don't think many people realize that, if you're just, you see everyone using ChatGPT, and so you're like, okay, I'll try that. It kind of looks just like a Google search, but smarter. You don't think actually, well, this is melting servers somewhere in California, and there's, all the cooling machines that go into it. Like I don't think your average person who just is like a really casual AI user thinks about this.
Yeah. And the tech is getting better. They are making more and more efficient chips. China's just come up with one that was absolutely crazy. But they are making the processes a lot better. The energy proficiency are getting a lot better along the way. It's just going to take time. We're still trying to catch up to the speed that AI is really moving at. So us being lowly humans, it's just going to take us a bit longer to get there.
It's just about being mindful while we're on that journey, because like you said, things are getting better.
Yeah.
But there was a stat about just saying please and thank you to ChatGPT was really
maybe save the please and thank yous. I wouldn't even reply at this point. Like if ChatGPT gains sentience and says, "Oh, you never said thank you to me in the past for that previous prompt," I'll be like, "Okay, I deserve this." But yeah, it is what it is. Well, yeah. So one of the other things that came across, how much of a studious student were you?
Well, I'm still a studious student.
Oh yeah, you are.
I am doing my master's at the moment, so very much full on in the deep end.
So in school, did you have like prefects and the goody goods and all that kind of stuff? And
that was not me, just for disclosure.
Okay. So you're on the other kind of spectrum.
Yeah.
All right.
So I didn't do so well previously, which is I think what I'm trying to do better now.
Okay. So the reason why I brought that up is because there's been a new study that's come out. UK universities have caught nearly 7,000 students cheating with AI tools. Wow. So these are students that are utilizing AI to basically get through the exams, get through tests, get through, what they're called, the essays of that. I've been out of school for so long, I forgot what the word essays was. So, all the assignments that they've done, dissertations and everything. And how do we manage this? Like, where's the line regarding this?
I have no idea how universities in particular, how they're going to keep up with this, because they can't keep up, right?
No?
Like, AI came in so quickly into the mainstream use, and I think most universities now have some sort of AI policy in place, but there's still very little to actually police that policy, if that makes sense. They're essentially, what they're doing, they're using AI to try and detect AI, right? But you can just go and say, can you make this so it doesn't look like AI? And then it's crazy, and I genuinely don't know how this is going to end. I think the whole education system will change eventually, how students are assessed, because as it stands now, it's a very tough part from both sides, really, because if you're a student who genuinely isn't using AI and you put a lot of effort into your assignment, you can be then picked up and be said, oh, you used AI because this is really good. Surely you didn't write that yourself. And then from the other perspective, someone can use AI to generate that whole assignment, run it through AI again to remove any traces of it looking like AI, and then still pass. It blows my mind.
It's a very weird concept to have, because on one end, you're like, oh, they don't have the knowledge themselves to bring this forward. On the other end, they're doing incredible things with AI, which is the jobs of the future. So how do you really grade these students? Is it more on the fact of the kind of knowledge, let's face it, in the real world, you genuinely won't need? There's a lot of maths and stuff involved that you just won't use in the real world because of where the world is going to. So, and how most jobs are being taken by AI, more jobs are being created for AI consultants, for AI engineers. And if these kids are getting a head start, hey-ho.
That's what I mean when I say I think the whole education system is going to change eventually, because obviously all of the other industries are evolving for the jobs of tomorrow, because there's going to be a lot more AI-focused jobs. But how it's going to go or how long it's going to take, I don't envy that position.
And you can't really discredit them, as in you can't really bash the AI world, because this is the future.
Exactly.
So how do you go about the reinforcement of it? How do you, I guess it takes more of the education. It will require more education to let students know what is good for AI, what is AI for good, and what is AI for not so good. And then introducing that earlier in school years before they even make it to university. But like you said, none of these policies are in place. Nothing's really been brought on. I know they're working on it in higher government. I don't read the transcripts or anything. So they're probably thinking about this, but we're falling further and further behind in the global race when you're looking at China, who implement these kind of things from the age of 6. And it's a mandatory course now to do AI in schools from the age of 6. Whereas we're still thinking about, oh no, our students are cheating. Well, duh. The higher would do the same thing.
Yeah, it's really about the change of mindset there, isn't it? Because like you said, in China, they already had that change of mindset. They realized this is what we need to get forward. Let's start it from very young age. Let's start teaching kids from the age of 6. Here it's like, hold on a minute, they're cheating here. Instead of thinking, okay, they're actually trying to do something different, and they're trying to be more resilient for what's coming.
And here's an interesting thought, and this is just random off script, because you are part of a virtual university, aren't you?
So I'm on a fully remote course,
Fully remote
I don't
course.
need to ever be anywhere in person. I don't need to attend anything at a set time. It's all very flexible, so you can join after work on Saturday morning.
And how are your exams done?
So far, all of the assignments were essays or portfolios. I don't think, looking at the rest of the course, I don't think there are any actual exams. If there are, we've had one of our colleagues in the office yesterday. Those would probably have to be on a set time, because I think you have to have someone on the other side of it supervising to make sure that you're not cheating in a way. But I don't think I have any exams on my particular course.
So I'm not saying obviously you do this, but even your assignments and things like that, you can basically get a chat GPT to kind of produce for you?
I don't think you can at the state it is now. Maybe with like Gemini's deep research, I haven't tried that tool.
Yeah.
But obviously with university standard, everything needs to be referenced back. If you try to get references from ChatGPT, it just makes stuff up. Like just blatantly lies.
So if you use the deep research on ChatGPT,
potentially you could,
it comes up with references and everything.
You potentially with that could cheat a whole assignment, and it'd probably be quite hard to detect.
And even when it comes to in-person assignments, supposedly in-person assignments or exams, when you're a remote student, there's things like make.com that where you can produce a whole bunch of automations. I'm wondering if that is you know what, let's fall off of this road before I start showing ways that really you can hack the system. But yeah, make.com is like an automation kind of software. You do need to plug in different other pieces of software. So say if you had like a Google Sheets and you're running an e-commerce and you wanted to get orders in as well as notifying your team, it's a very user-friendly kind of bit of kit that you just, it's a web page, so it's just a web application. And so you can have the Google Sheets node. So every time you get an order from Google Docs or whatever it is, Google Forms, and it inputs into Google Sheets, you can have everything populated in Google Sheets. And then you can tell it to say, all the addresses that are in like the UK only ship to those addresses. And then you add another node, and then you add another node to say, notify the team to do the shipping, and notify the customer to say that the shipping order has been received, and things like that. And it's very simple as drag and drop in different places. And then you have a whole automated setup. You can even do it for like social media and just have everything automated through social media. So I was wondering if there's a way to automate anything that you do remotely for a test as well, so it can help with that. There's all these AI assistants and agentic AIs that can really help you do
and more of that really. And again, it's probably going to be the way industries will evolve, because you potentially some businesses do it now, like you said, make.com can pretty much run your business for you.
Or if you have a side hustle, which is great. That's what it's supposed to be used for. If you want to make money in a passive way, passive income, make.com is the perfect intro to do that kind of thing with, really.
I think the closing remarks on that is, if you're at university right now, don't cheat.
Use AI to help you. Don't just get ChatGPT.
Make sure you read your university's AI policy, because you will find, well, for example, with my one, you are allowed to use AI for research. You are allowed to use it for summarizing things. So for genuinely the boring stuff, if you will, you are allowed to use it to help your productivity. But then your assignments, obviously, those are based on your learning and reflection of your learning.
And I will stress to any student and any company out there, be careful of what data you actually do input into ChatGPT. It's just been passed the other day that the data that you put into ChatGPT, or the some of the nodes and some of the prompts, they will be stored on ChatGPT servers, which means your data is now stored in America, if that is where all the servers are.
It's just such a bummer, really, because
everybody was using it, hoping that you can use a temporary, or you can use if you pay for the more expensive version, that's supposed to be the version that's supposed to keep your data more private on your sole computer. But that is no longer a thing. It will be mandatory that your data can be shared with ChatGPT servers. Yeah,
and that's probably where local LLMs and AIs come into play. I think more and more businesses will be thinking about those.
Yeah, definitely got to consider the localized LLM route. If you don't know what a localized LLM is, or a localized AI model, please do either get in contact with us and the team. We provide workshops trying to spread the intelligence around or the education around what the different levels of AI are, how to stay protected, all the things you should look out for, as well as the things that can help make you more human. So it runs all the data and everything in the background, but to do it safely. It's just like when the internet first came out, the internet could have been a very scary thing. The internet still is a scary thing, even though we're so used to it. But you've got to use the internet safely. There's a lot of nefarious things that the internet can be used for. So it's just about understanding what it can do, what it can't do, and just being safe while not surfing the web, while using AI bots.
Absolutely. I think that's a perfect end note for the new segment.
Yeah.
So be safe out there, folks. As last time, and as always, I'm going to shuffle over to the other side of the desk because we're going to welcome our guest, Corinna Elliot.
Hello there. Present day Dunstan here with a quick disclaimer. This episode was recorded before the passing of Linda Smith. At the time of recording, we spoke about Linda in the present tense. We have chosen to leave this unchanged as a reflection of a lasting impact she's had on basically all of us. So our thoughts will always remain with her family, her friends, and all those who knew and admired her. Thank you.
Corinna, welcome.
Thank
what
you.
an honour to have you here. It's really good. No, we're really pleased to have you. I'm going to start with a few questions because obviously you and Dunstan are longtime friends, your ex-colleagues. I don't really know you that well.
Sure.
So I'm really keen to get to know more about you. I want to talk more about obviously the past, but before we get to that, do you want to just quickly say what is it that you're doing right now before we
Sure.
go back into the
So
past?
my current role is I'm internal communication specialist for a company called Claranet.
Amazing. And what do Claranet do?
So we're a MSP, so managed service provider. So still working in the tech sphere. Sort of the overview of what they provide, sort of networks and solutions, cybersecurity, it's still a big one, private and public cloud, and workplace solutions.
How professional that was.
Been there 4 years now,
Yeah.
Dunstan. I should be able to list it off a little bit.
Yeah, well done.
No, that's really good. So you say you've been there 4 years, and obviously for context before that you were in BetaDen and you were there since day one.
Yes.
I'm really keen to know what was it like in those early days, like when you first joined, because obviously BetaDen was a new concept then. How was that experience?
So before it was BetaDen, it was just a centre for entrepreneurship. So before it even had a name, it was nameless for I think about 6-7 months, when it was just myself and Linda Smith. I was working for Midlands Cyber at the time, and she said, the county's looking at building a centre for entrepreneurship. Do you think it's something you'd be interested in? I was like, absolutely. And she just took me along the ride with her, basically. So I have to give it to Linda. It was her vision, her baby. And yeah, it was us two from day one until, well, about 4 years, I think, before I called it quits and decided it was time to move on. The very beginning, I think, sure, what I'm saying, it was hard. Imagine we had to sort of sell the concept, the idea with absolutely nothing to back it up, just our word of this is what we're going to do and it's going to be great for you. Just believe us. So through a heck of a lot of sort of networking, self-promotion and building it from the ground up. So I think when you think about like a startup business, that's exactly what it was, but just more of an idea, but with nothing tangible to give to people other than some space, obviously over in the science park, and the promise of helping you in your business. So imagine that compared to what you've got now. Yeah, it was hard, but really rewarding.
Yeah. Wow. It's incredible how much BetaDen has grown, and like that's, all credit to you and Linda. You've set up the foundations and you did all the hard work because, like you said, you were just working on a promise then. You were trying to get people in, whereas now, we're fighting through lots and lots of applicants, seeing who we can fit in. So when you first started, obviously, it was just the two of you, then Dunstan eventually came along. Is that the right time, or was there someone else before then?
You started doing, I think, because I knew Dunstan outside of work anyway, I got him in for a few times to do some freelance, some videography.
Forget that, like, in my freelance world, I was already doing the photography and videography and stuff, and you came in and you was like, there's this, your pitch practices.
Yeah, he filmed some of the first pitch practices that we did. And then we, I think, got some more funding. And it sort of got to a point where I was like, Linda, I physically cannot do all of this by myself anymore. Neither could she. Because she wore, I think, 2 hats as well. She had a role with the LEP, and we were working on sort of inward investment into the county as well. So there was always that side of things. And then Dunstan joined us on part-time basis to begin with.
Yeah, it was
4
very
days a
part-time.
week. Yeah, or
it wasn't
3
even
days.
4, it was 3.
3 days a
Yeah.
week. And just that alleviated a heck of a lot more pressure. And obviously Dunstan is really creative, so that helped us a lot with sort of getting the visuals out there, which are a little bit better. We could do more of sort of the AV production side of things, so we weren't having to then spend our small budget on things like having a production X, Y, and Z. Dunstan was able to do a lot of that, and it's sort of just, even in the short period of time that I was with you guys, from day dot up until when Dunstan was with us, it sort of just flew exponentially in some areas, to be fair.
What was that like from you, like you starting out and then someone going to you guys, all right, we've got this project, we want it to have it delivered. Was that quite daunting to kind of be, oh no, we've got to now deliver this to the county?
Yes and no, because you got to think prior to that, we were also running Midland Cyber, so that did
That's
still
true.
run.
Yeah.
And then it's only on reflection now, I'm a little bit older, and I think, and people ask me about my role prior to Claranet, because obviously now I work in a corporate environment, it's very different. And I describe, oh yeah, I went to the States, I've been overseas to sell the Midlands or Worcestershire as a destination for cybersecurity and tech, and it's like, did I have any business going? And then I think that was probably more daunting than BetaDen in some retrospect. So you find yourself in the middle of Maryland and thinking, how did I get here? But again, testament to the LEP and Linda and Gary before BetaDen was even born. And we would go to these events overseas and it would be, oh, we're thinking about doing this. We're starting to talk about a Centre for Entrepreneurship. And then we got back and it was, okay, we've been given the green light. We've got some funding. Let's go.
So how long were you with Midland Cyber before?
A year.
Okay.
A full year. So.
And you was a LEP before that?
Yeah, so I was actually seconded to the LEP initially from Bulwell. So for those who do know.
You've been in tech.
Since I left university, I've not.
What did you do at uni again?
Marketing, advertising, and public relations. And then the job market being what it is, struggled like heck to find a role. So I went back to university to my master's degree in international management, back in Worcester Uni. And then the reason I went back to Worcester Uni was I really enjoyed being in Worcester. Yeah. But that course came with a 6-month internship with a local business.
And that's where Bulwell comes in.
And that's where Bulwell comes in. So I went to work for Steve and Bulwell for a year. And then I don't know what he saw in me, but he had some belief in me as well. And whereas the business was still going through a growth period there as well, so prior to his expansion into more sort of cyber related businesses until etc., he seconded me part-time over to the LEP. I, truth be told, had no idea what the LEP was at this point. It's just something that he introduced me to because he was, I want to say he was on the board.
Was there an innovation board back then?
No, I think
so. He would have been on maybe the LEP board.
Yeah, and I think with the whole cyber side of things, and so he knew Linda back from when Linda was in her DIT days. Yeah. So I actually met Linda. That's how far back it goes. On day 2 of my job with Bulwell. So because I was looking at sort of an exporting strategy for Bulwell. Yeah. Post Brexit, I went and had a day and a bit with Linda over at the chamber. So Linda's been paramount to my sort of career journey from day 2 of that role, and that was day 2 of my career in tech in that area.
I gotta give it up to Bulwell because I've been around Bulwell now for a while, or however long I've been with BetaDen, and he's always championing getting more younger students and individuals who are interested, not even interested in the tech world, but just giving them a leg up. He's always championing like apprenticeships. He's always championing support for students. He works a lot with Worcester Uni and
Also,
all the colleges.
I don't know if I can say this. Steve was the only placement to pay his intern when I was at university. He was the only one. In my cohort, there was 15 of us, I think, doing international management, and I was the only one being paid for my work, which obviously I understand budgets, etc., but to then be paid and almost valued for the work that you're doing, which then transpired into a job, supported me all the way through my dissertation, and then I was lucky enough to be offered a position at the end of it.
No, that's brilliant. He seems to do things in a much more valued way, and it's helped you value the role a lot more, I'm guessing.
Absolutely. Well, so if you think, it's sort of like the butterfly effect, isn't it? If I hadn't have applied for that role, I would never have really known who the LEP were. I certainly wouldn't have met Linda, and then I wouldn't have then gone on to the career I've had to date. So there's always those sort of little opportunities that can grow into something larger, but it has all happened in Worcestershire. So
look at us go, both of us out of county.
Journey you've been on. I'm not gonna lie. So you've left BetaDen around 4 years ago.
2021, yeah.
Are you still in touch with Are you still in touch with Linda? Or
I sent her this little sign here. I don't know if you think. I sent her a message to let her know that we were here today. So yeah, I still keep in touch with Linda. So even to when I decided that it was time for me to leave BetaDen, I don't know if it gets, obviously you guys are still in the science part. I knew this was coming. It was, when you sort of have been somewhere for long enough and it was time for sort of fresh ideas, new faces. I actually had 2 job offers. So I'd been for a couple of interviews and I didn't know where to go. Both her and Gary sat with me in a room and helped me pick where to go next in my career. So the support, even when I was leaving, it wasn't like ended on a bad note. She came to my 30th birthday party.
I remember that. That was a fun time.
Which was a couple of years ago. So I hadn't worked with Linda for a while. So like I said, I spoke to her this morning. But she's been a constant pillar of support through my career in tech. So she is a huge champion for women in tech, and sort of bringing the diversity aspect into the tech space. And I think maybe a bit extreme to say I wouldn't be where I am without her, but I do, to a degree, I do believe that to be true. Only International Women's Day, I put a post. So if I had to reflect on one person that supported me through my career, would be Linda. And she's the one who told me, so the 2 roles I had was Claranet, so I've been there ever since, or a role with the police.
Okay.
So I am very, very thankful that I stayed in the tech sphere, and it is where I'm strangely comfortable.
Yeah, because you wouldn't class yourself as a classic techie in a sense, would you?
No.
Yeah, but you very much got involved. Your knowledge as well is quite vast when it comes to tech. I think it's especially because of the BetaDen program and how many different technologies we engage with.
Prior to that, when I was at Bulwell,
opened your eyes.
Yeah, it was. There was only 2 of us in the marketing department, if we can call it a department. Obviously, Steve had a smaller business then, but when we'd go to trade shows, he'd be like, "Yeah, you need to go on the stand." And I'd be like, "And say what?" I was 23, like, what do I say to these people? So you've got to think, we were at DSEI. Oh, down at the Excel. So huge 5-day show.
Yeah.
Selling or promoting our cyber services.
No clue.
So yeah, we can do that. Can we? It's Dave.
Did you ever get stuck with the real technical questions? Because even in my role, I have an okay knowledge around tech, and sometimes someone would question me about like coding or something specific.
No, I just be like, I'm really sorry. I'm not embarrassed or ashamed. I'm like, oh no, that's somebody else will be able to answer that for you. But make sure I've got all the details. And I'm no way, shape or form technical trained, but my time at BetaDen, the things that I learn now that I can relay when I'm in Claranet, and I'm like, oh no, I know like the basics of cybersecurity, and if somebody says this and this, so I do, obviously my job's internal comms, so if we have a success story to share internally and it's got like sort of tech aspects, I read it and I don't read it thinking, what on earth are we doing there? It's like, I kind of get it. Oh, that's kind of cool. Like capabilities are that vast, obviously much bigger company, but it's really valuable to see.
Yeah, I think I'll say you're a very good example of being a woman in tech who's not necessarily like an extreme techie, because people think to be a woman in tech, you have to be like behind the computer and you have to be coding and generating or be a software engineer. But there are a lot of roles in tech that are still supporting tech and you're still in that environment.
I'm quite lucky where I am now as well. Quite a few women that are in tech-based roles. So I work within the HR department, so we are very female heavy in that area, which we then complete by polar opposite. When my first job, I was one of 2 women in the office. So now it's not 50-50. I'm not as naive as to think that, but we've got a lot of sort of female champions at Claranet that do tech-based roles, as well as obviously all the other business aspects that we have in a large company.
Yeah. Have you seen the kind of diversity challenges change then since when you first started in this space
So I'm quite lucky in my current role that I'm able to work on different committees and areas of the business to help with women in tech and the DEI strategy and what that looks like. So we have the women in tech piece, we have the neurodiversity piece. We have, I'm trying to think what else we're working on at the moment. It's going through my brain. Sorry.
Lot going on, basically.
But it's great. And then seeing the difference within a larger organization, but still the stats. So Claranet were a founding partner of TCare, which was the Microsoft initiative for racial discrimination within the tech world. And some of the stats that come out there, and you're just like, whoa.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Because when I came into this whole thing, I was obviously a bit worried about the space that we're entering. And thanks to you, like you were very supportive about like just entering and just getting on with it and just really championing what's possible here. But even the left themselves, I've never seen a group as inclusive as the left and who they will champion. Like Linda's always been a great backing, Gary's always been a great backing. He's just believed in me from the start and things of that nature. And coming into a space where there was already a female CEO, and then I'm also surrounded by other women like Jenny Long and yourself and all these women that are doing just great things. I found that very, very valuable to my upbringing in this tech world. And I've never seen it any different. So I'm quite blinded. I don't know any different because I've always been surrounded by all these powerful women who are doing great stuff.
And I think I'm probably naive in a sense that I also see it in a similar way because of the start of my career, and even down to, I think in our first cohort, we had, I don't want to say 50%, but it was maybe 40% women CEOs joined us. So we've always had maybe a skewed version of reality. That make you think we're doing great things. Or it might just be the county, I don't know, or Linda's presence. But yeah, we've always had a really good representation within BetaDen, the cohorts and the team.
Yeah, the team has definitely been some of the great aspects of like working in this space, working alongside you, Linda, Daniel, James, Kate, that was coming as program manager. It's always been a nice mix of a group when it comes to these environments, and even with the LEP and everybody who's involved with the Worcestershire Growth Hub, it's quite nice to be a part of a wider family and the Chamber of Commerce and all sorts. So, I felt quite privileged to like know you because I know you outside of all of this space anyway. And that was all great, but seeing you professionally and how you've grown in that as well has just been absolutely amazing. You've given me hope. So that's been absolutely super to see. Where do you see yourself then in like the next 5-10 years? Do you plan to stay in the tech space? Would you like to explore more?
I think so. Tech for sure is where I enjoy being. Obviously, turbulent times at the moment across the entire sector. But yeah, the development of tech, obviously, as we move more into sort of the AI space, Claranet are definitely working within that space. So Claranet aren't just in the UK, we're across 10 different countries. You can sort of see across in Europe, the development of AI and the capabilities that are coming through.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
It is.
Do
you use AI much? Have you started experimenting with that whole concept?
Maybe.
Are you a shadow user?
Well, I don't know. Does the whole ChatGPT, I get those words, that one, count?
Yeah.
I mean, it certainly helps the day to day.
It does, doesn't it?
Well, we have our own version as well. We have Clara version of it. So
Claranet have actually developed their own model.
Yeah. So for internal use, but yeah.
Well done. No, because that's a lot better way to do things, and it's a lot more secure as well when it comes to data. And obviously, with you guys being in cybersecurity involvement, that's a lot more useful. So, what kind of internal things does it help you guys do?
So like writing for clarity, etc. So obviously, a lot of my comms that I create or go out is internal. So not as tech focused when I was maybe at BetaDen and it was going to techies. So I do have sort of that sort of fine line as I don't have to think about being completely accurate there. But no, I know in terms of internally, obviously a lot of data analysis, what we do with data, trends, forecasting, things like that.
That's absolutely brilliant, because that's the kind of thing that we've been trying to educate more on, is the importance of either having a localized or a self-made AI model. That way you're not sharing all the potential data overseas or to whatever network or wherever it might be held.
No, we've got, I think when I sit and think about it, and it's not just an expectation day to day, we've got some very, very intelligent people over at Claranet that do and can create these sort of models for so even down to our internal displays. They're all run off of AI.
Nice.
And that take our data and present it to what we want to show internally.
Yeah.
That is really cool. And I think a really good example of using AI responsibly as well as a company, it's something we're looking at. We do workshops as well. We did one just yesterday, and it's surprising how many people don't realize the importance of like data privacy, and especially as a company, of your size and your industry, it is really good to hear that you're championing that in a safe manner.
Do you think, given today's AI age, you can tell the difference between something that is generated by AI and something that is real?
Text-wise, so obviously that's my bread and butter.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So for example, I obviously work next to our recruitment team in the office.
Yeah.
Just an example, the other day we had, I didn't read it. We had a application in, and she went, "This has been written by AI." And the only reason she knew it is completely Americanized spelling, and they hadn't gone through and amended it.
Yeah.
So if you are using AI,
be careful.
Go through and at least take the bones of it, but then make it your own.
Yeah. What's the point? We're not trying to hire a bot. We're trying to hire you.
No, exactly. But I think sometimes as well, the style of writing, I'm quite an informal creator in terms of things that I write, and it's very sort of a chatty
conversation is kind of where
how I do. I've always written my comms like that. If it's too formal, I'm like, am I writing a report back at uni? But yeah, I do think you can tell if there's not, I think the word's personality, if someone's personality is not in the text.
Yeah.
But then if you flip it on its head and say things with like image generation and things like that, sometimes AI is going to win hands down compared to what I can create on some Adobe platform.
Yeah.
It's going to look 10 times better. So there's definitely a need and a desire for it, but it's almost like it should be there. In my opinion, it should be there as a tool, as an aid, not to replace.
Exactly. So saying that, we have a little game for you.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You did not give me a heads up on this.
So we like to play a little game with our guests where we try to discern what is real and what is fake. So we are going to bring some images up and some videos up. They're a mix between the two. There's 5 rounds.
Okay.
And they're going to appear on the left and right of the screen. You've just got to try and figure out which one is the real image and which one is the AI generated image.
Okay.
Now, the last time we did this, it was very difficult. And I apologize for that one if anyone's watching at home and saw that one. But how I did the one previously was I trained the images off of a previous image,
Okay.
which made it more difficult because it's basically copying and making some changes. This time, everything that's generated here is through text prompts.
Okay.
So I've just simply told ChatGPT, no, it wasn't ChatGPT, it was Gemini actually, the VO3, told it to generate this image, and I described the image, and then it comes up with this creation. So we'll see how well you do here.
Are you ready to get started?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, so you got 2 here, left and right.
Left is AI.
And right is real.
Yeah.
Okay, reveal. Correct.
You got it right. Well done.
Yeah, left one is the AI one. What gave that one away?
First, I was going to say the other way around because the whiteboard looked a bit more handwritten, but then it almost looked too perfect. There was a bit more out of focusness on the right-hand side.
Cool. Yeah. And if you look closely, I know you can't see it from this distance, but the words on the left are just gibberish.
Yeah.
They're not
I can't see from here.
To be fair, this is a bad showing on here. But yeah, well done on that one. Okay, next one, James.
Left is real, right is AI.
Okay, and reveal the answer. Well done. That one
Maybe you made it too easy.
Yeah, right.
No, there's nobody on this earth that can get 5 cats to sit like that. I've got 2. Wouldn't happen. Whereas this one, look, they're all that's more accurate. If you've got cats, you know.
Well, the funny thing is, I put in the prompt to produce 4 cats, and I don't know why it's produced 5 on that right. I wanted it 4 and 4. So the left one is real. I got where I found it. It's somewhere on Google. And then yeah, the right one I said generate 4 cats in a living room with natural lighting, and that's what it came out with. It's still a very good image.
They all look very cute too.
They all look very cute. Yeah, well done. All right. I know you like to go to the gym, so I thought this would be handy for you.
Left is AI, right is real. I'm not as confident with this one.
Yeah, so the right one is actually the AI generated through Gemini VE03, and the left one is a real video that we got from Canva stock footage.
Okay.
What is really cool is that we didn't even ask Gemini to produce any audio, but if we were to play the audio on that clip, they actually...
It has it saying it's counting.
Keep going.
Even in the first one,
realistic.
the other video you saw, the woman's actually giving a proper lecture. I didn't tell it to do any of that. It's just decided what to say in that context.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, yeah.
Got one wrong. Darn.
Yeah.
Left is real, right is AI. Jeez.
I really thought you would have gone the other way, but because I've never, not that I watched the Nature Channel for fishes, but I've never seen.
It's a shoal of fish, isn't it?
Yeah,
they do that. They do that.
Yeah, they do apparently. Because I just asked for a school of fish, so I found that picture on the right, and I said, "Can I generate a school of fish?" And that's what it did on the left. So it's surprising that the left one looks more realistic than the right.
The right one looks almost like a wallpaper.
Yeah, it does, to be fair. Yeah. Well, I guess that's how good some photographers are.
Left is real, right is AI. Oh, it's already there. Sorry.
Oh, you already put it on there?
No,
yeah, no,
I
genuinely
was still staring at the other side.
concentrating on the videos. You feel yeah, you said it anyway without actually realizing nothing was real.
Well done.
Yeah, the left one is the real image. The right one
It's
is
too
the
perfect, the right one.
It is way too. Look at that sun glow and everything. Like that is some sunset settings.
Well, and the dog is just everyone knows, like cats and dogs. No, I swear, no dog is that well behaved.
What I should have done to make it more realistic is probably done more natural lighting, or say it's based in England to give it a bit more of that mystified effect.
Could be on a day like today.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's very true.
So you did quite well there, Corinna. 3 out of 5. Our last guest did 2 out of 5.
Think so?
Yeah.
I don't want to quote on that because I don't want to discredit.
Let's quote on that because then I'm winning.
So at the moment you're a highest scoring guest, but you're also the second guest. But that's
there's still many more to go. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I made those ones a bit easier.
Don't rain on my parade.
Okay. No, I used the same exact methods. You did very, very well.
Thank
Super
you.
duper well done.
Thanks.
Happy to see you. But yeah, my next question was going to follow up a bit more on you keep your eyes to the tech sphere.
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen kind of where BetaDen's started off with, where it's middling at and where it's going. What further support do you think this county needs in order to help more entrepreneurs, to help more people get involved in this tech space? Because yes, we're doing great things, but there's always more that can be done. Is there any insights that you have on that?
Obviously, the first one is always going to be what no one wants to hear, which is funding.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the answer to everything. But I think what BetaDen has been able to do is demonstrate the return on investment that you do get from not only encouraging businesses to stay in the county, but to grow in the county. And a little bit different, but even me and you as examples, we both came to the county as students. The job opportunity was there within this area, and we stayed.
Yeah.
I went to uni.
For me, by the way.
Oh, is it?
3 out of 3.
Yeah. He came from a different country.
Yeah.
So there's that. Well, there we go as well. So you've got 3 people working in that area.
Yeah.
That have stayed because of the opportunities that the county offered. So obviously that then sits hand in hand with economic growth, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, got to spend money to make money. But I think, then just look at what you've achieved anyway. So we started off with BetaDen offering 6 spaces to our first cohort.
Yep.
We fought tooth and nail to get them on board as well. And now you're sifting through applications and having to decline people. But then you've also got this new space to incubate businesses and startups. So imagine if you could replicate this again, how many businesses you'd be able to help in the county.
Yeah. That is what we're trying to do more of. We're trying to replicate what we're doing here with the incubator and do it in more and more spaces, which is why we've now moved the incubator to the north of the county with the support of the White Forest District Council. And we're trying to help more people because the Accelerator program was quite restricted. We can only have about usually it's 8 founders, 8 businesses on that one. There were so many that were still getting turned away. We want to provide support where we can. And so that's where the incubators come in. So we can still provide some kind of help and support to the community and grow this community and keep the momentum rolling.
There's that as well. And I think if you are, so the funding, if you're able to fund either through local authority or privately, then that's going to be a great opportunity. And I would argue also for you, the exposure you get to these businesses, ideas and the tech that people have thought of in their own little office, at home, in their bedrooms, and needs support and guidance to grow. That's when you're going to sort of really develop sort of the next gen of tech. But also if you're not able to support the cause, I want to call it, or BetaDen financially, just your time going to events, growing the network as it is in the county. The more people know about it, obviously, best form of advertising still, even in 2025, is word of mouth.
Yeah.
So
Getting out there, networking in real life, meeting the people. That's the one thing AI still not being able to replicate or
Face
replace.
to face. No, exactly that. And I think one thing Linda always drummed into me, we need to build the community. We need to build the community. We need to build the community. We need a database of X amount of people that are in the tech area. And there are so many out there within the industry, within the county. And it is, you will find, I think, even if you go to some of our first founders that joined BetaDen, they still come to events. I think I've seen Dave Lowe.
Dave Lowe's even come back to his mentor on the Incubate program.
There we go. So that's like a full circle moment. And they are, if he hadn't have believed in the vision from the get-go, like 7-8 years ago? Gosh, that makes me feel old. But then that wouldn't be what it is now potentially. So investment is always going to be, I think, number one, but two, investment in time as well. So not just on a monetary value, but to be a part of the community and champion what you guys are still doing in the county.
Yeah. And because we're running on time now, what would you count as maybe out of your whole career? So I'm talking about everything. Can you just name a couple highlights that you can look back on and think, wow?
Yeah, my first trade mission to the US. Because I did at one point sit there and think, why am I here?
Yeah.
Not as in like I didn't want to be there, but sort of
Imposter
like
syndrome type. Yeah.
Absolutely. And not because of my gender or anything like that, or I don't know the word. Or I was very young. Looking back now, if you think you're big and everything at 23, 24, I was just a baby. And I think Midlands Cyber, I think I'll always be really proud of that, and the work that we did do championing this little not community.
Yeah, it's cluster. Midlands Cyber Cluster.
Yeah, the Midlands Cyber Cluster, thank you. In that area and building those relationships with people overseas. So we went overseas quite a few times with Midlands Cyber, and that was an incredible experience.
Yeah.
And then looking back now and seeing what BetaDen is, and me and Linda sitting in the boardroom when there was barely anything in that office. So at one point we moved in and there was just a mountain of cardboard in the corner, a couple of desks and a boardroom without a proper table in it. And she was like, what are we going to call this thing? And it was like, not got a clue. Like I said, that took a couple of months to come up with, like the name, the branding. So I'd say Midlands Cyber, one, and then BetaDen. And there's been a few things that I get to do in my new role, which is pretty cool. You
champion a lot of, is it mental health, that stuff that you do? I've seen you do runs and all kinds of stuff for charity.
Yeah, so that's something quite, I would say, fortunate to do in my current role. So we have a charity that we support per year. So we're actually championing Magic Breakfast this year, cool. Which ensures no child starts the day hungry or is too hungry to learn. And we are doing the 3 Peaks Challenge in September.
Wow.
Pray for me. Yeah, so we're doing that. I've been able to, so when I first started with Claranet, we did a cycle from Leeds to London via all of our offices.
Jeez.
Straight in, I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Cycling, it's fine.
Yeah, I do spin. How hard could it be? That was my mindset. Let me tell you, hard. But then we supported local charities that were close to each of our office locations. I've also been lucky enough to do the UK Challenge with Claranet, which was a 5-day challenge in the Isle of Man. Yeah, and we're looking at obviously what we could do next year. So supporting communities wherever I've worked is obviously in a bit of a different perspective now. But yeah, I find that really, really important to me where I am in my work. And probably the most rewarding part of my job is what I get to do for the external sort of community and for staff internally. So mental health is another big one. So we do have a mental health first aiders team and advocate that within the business as well. So
yeah, well, thank you very much for
thanks for having me.
It's a really inspiring note to leave it on, isn't it?
I'm not sure how many people are going to want to listen to that. But...
well, because you're part of this community, whether people notice or not. So everything that is BetaDen,
always cheering you on the sidelines anyway.
Well, this wouldn't be here without you. It's a simple, it's a fact that this would not be here.
My head will be.
Yeah, you ain't gonna fit through these doors.
No, I feel it sounds maybe a bit cheesy to say, privileged to have been a part of it, and then to see it's still obviously funding, etc., has always been a big question mark over the initiative. Even from day dot, it was like, well, we've got 5 years. What can we do in 5 years? And it's almost like another 5 years later, look at what it's grown. So I think you've won Tech Accelerator of the Year twice. Yeah,
Tech Accelerator of the Year twice nationally, Best Tech Accelerator for the West Midlands as of 2025.
Incredible.
Yeah, so it
started off as what seemed like mission impossible to now. So you guys deserve all of that credit and accolade as well.
Yeah, great. And I'm sure all the businesses who have interacted with BetaDen, I'm sure will want to give you a big thank you for all the work that you put into this as well, and all the bore wells and all the first few cohorts, especially because you had some great relationships with them as well.
Well, it's almost like you name it. What's your job? What needs to be done today? That's what I'm doing.
Great. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Corinna.
Thank you very much.
It's been a real privilege. Yeah, we'll be back soon for another episode of Tech Tuesdays. Stay tuned.